Well, we welcome you back to the Lair, where we talk all things Wildcat football, and I'm joined as usual by Papa Bear himself,
Yep.
Luke Davis, and I'm
Little
LB.
Bear.
Yeah, Little Bear's here. I'm here. I'm LB Graham. We're here to preview and get ready for the Borgia game. And Luke, as I think about this game, right? I mean, first of all, it's really weird that we're at the last regular season game. It feels like we just started, but that's just the way it works, right? But last year, heading into the last week of the regular season, we were going to Borgia. They were 8-0.
Yes.
And looking to run the table and win the
Yes.
district, and we really romped at that game. The place was packed. It was their senior
was.
night, and we won, big.
Very convincingly.
And now they're coming to our place. We're 8-0, hoping to finish a perfect 9-0 season, and I'm sure they want nothing more than to do to us on senior day what we did to them. So tell us what.
That's their idea of the golden rule.
Yeah.
Really, we flipped the 1 and 2 spots in district last year with that win at Borgia, and they're of course looking to do the same. Borgia is really on a hot streak as of late. They crushed St. Clair last week, 47-7. This is a team that can put up points. They're hitting about 40 points a game. So what they have, Brett Snyder is a very quality quarterback. He is over 900 yards rushing, over 900 yards passing.
So another dual threat quarterback.
Another dual threat, and that's where it helps. And having seen DT Christensen of Christian High just last week, similar, very fluid game. Snyder probably gets out a little bit more and runs more than Christensen is a little bit more effective. The defense for Borgia, feast or famine. They have 5 games where they have given up 16, 19, 14, 0, and 7 points. Very solid. In 2 losses and 1 very narrow win, they've given up 42, 56, and 49.
It's a lot of points.
So yeah, it is, and it's really going to depend on which Borgia defense shows up, and they're going to be stretched by a Westminster offense, the likes of which they really haven't seen in terms of doing things both rushing and passing.
Our offense is really multifaceted, and I think we're going to put up some points. The question is, how many will they put up and can?
Right, and our defense has to come to play too. That's another part of having a complete game. It's not just Brett Snyder, it's also Grant Brodeur, 20 catches for 390 yards. He is a great running back, but he can line up in a slot back position. His film on maxpreps.com looks very impressive. And James Mullen spearheads the offensive line, Jacob Unterstall leading on the defense. This is a Borgia team that's coming in as the underdog, so it's an unusual position for them to be in. But I think Coach Dale Gilderhouse is going to really have them rising to the occasion.
Well, let's hit some keys to the game.
Yes, let's do that. First key, key number 1, hold fast. It's going to be an emotional game. Last senior regular season game for the Westminster Wildcats, so it's going to be lots of fun. Carnival, not the anesthesia during rotator cuff surgery type of fun, but you get my drift. But this is a time where don't let your emotion just overboil and wear yourself out and don't fall apart like a sloppy Joe on a soggy bun. The more disciplined team is going to win. So special teams, offensive line, keeping on their blocks, and especially one thing that we needed to work on from Christian High game is our receivers and everybody blocking further downfield. We could have gotten a number of yards more on a lot of plays. Penalties, we remember especially last year in the district final when we got those 2 straight offensive offsides penalties against Borgia that sustained our first touchdown drive. And as small as those things seemed to be at the time, it really opened up the game for us. So that's number 1. This is not number 2, but Mrs. R, we want to see you at Carnival. Number 2, pace and spread. Borgia does very well against offensive teams that happen to have a pretty set game plan and run 4 or 5 plays very well. Teams that diversify their offensive attack have a greater arsenal of weapons. We do see Borgia struggling against them. So use all the pressure points. Steve Webb and anybody coming out of that backfield, not just the draw plays up the middle, but off tackle, stretch, wherever. Dylan Conway especially can hurt you on that jet sweep.
You got to respect it. You saw the speed on the film.
We saw that scoring a couple times against Christian High. So Dylan's a weapon that can come out of the backfield as well. And if Evan Johnson gets all the receivers involved all over the turf, then the Borgia defenders run the risk of being more exhausted than Jabba the Hutt after a 10K race.
Very exhausted.
Incredibly exhausted. They just can't sustain that. And for our defense, key number 3, box Brett in, meaning Brett Snyder. He's like I said, coming up on both 1,000 yards, both rushing and passing. There are an array of solid players. There's Brodeur, there's Hageman, there's James Mullen, but Snyder is the motor that makes this engine go. He's a true double threat. So you don't have to do anything fancy, but defensive line, being disciplined and occupy your men. You don't necessarily have to flood into the backfield and lose contain. Allow the linebackers to make the play, and keep doing that, and show that discipline. And boxing Brett Snyder in and not letting him get outside and making plays is going to, you're just not going to easily flourish against a defense like that. And you're going to end up about as frustrated as the James Buchanan administration.
Very frustrated. So we don't want to be frustrated. We want to be 9-0 coming into next week, talking about our first district playoff
Wildcat
game.
weekend. The house is going to be packed. We need everybody out there. It's going to
1
be a great
o'clock
game.
on Saturday. Borgia at Westminster. Let's celebrate the seniors and let's bring a perfect 9-0 season to conclusion.
Let's do it.
See
We
you
can
there.
do it.